What's up, guys? It's Auntie here. Now, usually I don't make videos like this at all regarding, situations or stuff like that for games. But as you saw in the title, I'm gonna be, ranting about the whole issues with like Springtrap and his removal and pillar chase. Now, I know, I know a lot of people are not aware or don't know why Springtrap was removed from pillar chase originally back in 2025. And the whole like moral of his removal is copyright concerns. Now wait, you're probably asking, but Auntie, isn't Springtrap in Dead by Daylight and coming up in a new game called Five by Night? Yes, he is, but that's because those are games that either got the okay or well, I don't know about Five by Night. Their Springtrap model is their take of Springtrap. But in Dead by Daylight, they got the okay from Scott, and Scott himself wanted to collab with Behavior in Dead by Daylight. But my like in my whole rant about Springtrap and Pillar Chase is like has many reasons why he could come back to the game now than probably like PCX and Stricken, because those two are way more more heavy copyrighted than Springtrap and FNAF. Now let me explain first before you guys start saying, oh, but he's still copyrighted. Let me explain. Back in like I think a couple years ago, Scott did say something on Reddit. I don't know if he even still has it up today, but he said on one of his posts saying, "I don't mind if my stuff is used as long as there's no monetization used for my character." Scott said that, and I quote, "As long as my character isn't getting abused for monetization or money, I'm okay. I'll give it the green light." Now, here's the thing about Springtrap and Pillar Chase. Yes, Blade did add cosmetics to the shop for Robux. Now, I've said this before. Pillar Chase has been up for a year. Scott would have already said something to Blade if he didn't like the idea. Now, then again, you gotta realize too that Dalko even made a video, and Fusion Gamer both made a video of Springtrap in that game. Scott would have already took down Pillar Chase if he saw Springtrap being used in the shop. Dalko literally even showcased him too, and he even said, "Oh, this is cool." Now, I know these takes are kind of ass, what I'm saying, but let me try to explain it better. If Blade doesn't want to if Blade doesn't want to end up getting like copyright struck by Scott Cawthon himself, it's better to note that it's just a better idea just to not add Springtrap in the shop at all, period. And then maybe Scott would see that and say, hey, you know what? At least my character isn't involved in the monetization. I'm fine with that. Just don't respect my decision of not having my character involved with your monetization. Now, this sounds dumb, and many people can even disagree or agree with this, but Scott can see, oh, these other characters are in the shop and like, this Roblox shop and stuff. What happens if my character gets added? That's not, see, here's the thing I would consider to Blade and the team if they ever see this video. What I would recommend doing is still okay, you can still add Springtrap as his original model if that's the case or not. But just don't add him in the shop. It's so simple to not just, add him in the shop. Like, you could add Blade, Blake could add MX, anybody else that, that got an okay from the creators themselves. I'm only saying add Springtrap in just to add him in to see how it goes, because if Scott really has a problem about it, Scott would have already said something to him after Springtrap was added to the game. And again, Scott's really lenient on stuff. Scott's a general person. Like, he would literally tell straight up, hey, listen, I don't like this or that. Can you probably, like, either get rid of him in this situation, in this type of thing, or, Scott's really not that much of a, dickhead, you could say, when it comes to games and fan games, as long as you don't use his personal things that he made into a game. Blade and the team made, I forgot who made Springtrap's model. I think it was Goji Dev. I think, yeah, Goji Dev was the one that made Springtrap's model in Pillar Chase, and they made they remixed his chase theme with the teaser and something else. They're all credits in the wiki, by the way, which go check that out. But if hypothetically Springtrap was put into recode, I think like leaving him by his regular model or tweak or like a little bit of like an updated model would be a better decision than just completely remodeling because of Paranoia. I understand Blade, I understand Blade doesn't want I understand he doesn't want his game to be removed because copyrights and shit like that. Even though he's on his last strike, but I really think like him being more worried about Springtrap being in the game is kind of ridiculous because you literally have a fucking character that's literally Godzilla in the game, and you're literally adding another variant of Godzilla in your upcoming recode. Now I'm not coming at like Sumations and Melodicus because they're completely distinct. But I think Sumations is a more threat to Blade's game because it looks so much like the early 1990s or 1990s or 80s Godzilla movie back in the day. And to me, I don't care what anybody says. I think Sumations looks very similar to the old 1990s or 1980s Godzilla movie because just look at it, bro. It's literally the man in the suit mixed with the early 1980s or 1990s Godzilla, bro. You can't tell me this does not look like the fucking the old Godzilla from like back in the day. You can't not tell me. There's no way Blade should be so fucking paranoid by Springtrap out of all people being in Pillar Chase. Like I understand the situation for BCX and Stricken. Yeah, they're very like strict IP holders, but Springtrap and Scott, I really like. If Springtrap could be in Dead by Daylight and he could have skins that could be bought with money, then if Behavior, which I understand they are a big development team than Blade, if they can have something similar to that, I think what Blade should do is have Springtrap be in-game coins, like be game coins, not like money. And let me explain before anyone even says anything about this idea. I've been saying this for the past 3 to 4 months about Springtrap's removal. Instead of having him in the Roblox shop in the game, make his only make his event skins that are completely distinct from him, Robux. I know this sounds stupid because I just said that he shouldn't be in a Robux shop. I think having distinct enough badges and skins should be Robux. Obviously, they're events. Like for the Easter update, Springtrap got his Easter skin with an event thing, and you can also buy him with if you don't have it in the Roblox shop as a cosmetic. Scott can't really say anything about Springtrap for that because that's a distinct skin. Now, going to what about him and his, and his skins in the shop? What I would do is, and this is why I recommend Blade to do too, if he ends up adding Springtrap regularly, if he ever does, which I highly doubt that's not gonna happen, is to add skins in the game, coins and Robux. Add Blade has the Spiffy skins already in Recode that are 400 Robux, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yes, stuff like that. That should be like stuff like that should be obviously Robux because it's spiffy. It's something that's people are gonna want or people are gonna look at it and say, hey, maybe this looks cool. Let me buy it. Now, say if Springtrap gets his spiffy skin added to the game like that, or it's in that bundle. That's a good idea because you think about it. That's a bundle pack. Scott can't really say so. Oh, well, this game is monetizing with my character in it. I don't like that. What Blade could do is make it to hey, let me make it to the part where creators of their characters don't see it as me just wanting money. You gotta realize too, Roblox runs on money no matter what you do, and once you make that game, your game's automatically earning money right off the bat. Roblox is literally a money type fucking gaming platform. You can't do anything about it once once that game's already published. Look at it. Look when by Night comes out. That game's gonna earn tons of money once it's released. That's if they have anything Roblox related. Pillar Chase has been around again. It's been around since early 2024, at least. If Springtrap was really that much of a bad case, Scott would have already copyrighted Blade, already. He would have done it right there, right now, and Springtrap would have probably been removed from the roster, and Scott would have copyrighted his Blade's game. if Scott Cawthon really gave that much a crap about Pillar Chase, he would have said something when Dalco and Fusion uploaded the video, because that you guys gotta realize that Scott and Dalco are very, very close, in contact, because yeah, every stream Dalco does, a charity stream, Scott's in there every time. Even recently in Dalco's recent charity stream, Scott was in that stream. Scott's a very, very active people on certain platforms like YouTube and on Reddit. That's the only two platforms I know. I know he used to have a Twitter, but I know Twitter, I know they took down his fucking account, but it's not nothing. That's not something to get into right now. My only rant about Springtrap is that he has the most advantage to come back faster than any other character. I'm only saying that with a grain of salt, because Springtrap has the most potential for any upcoming character. Yeah, he's even like, yeah, he may still be getting remodel. They may probably still be doing his animations and skins, but like then again, I just think that I think, and a lot of people agreed with me on this, that the devs are again gatekeeping him because they know that tons of people are waiting for his news than the other character. Like I've been impatient about Springtrap since like 3 to 4 months ago. When we got that render Springtrap, like I think it was like 2 months ago. I think it's already 2 months by now. I was excited. I showed you guys should have saw me. It wasn't even on stream. It was off stream. When I saw Blade post that render of Stonehusk / Springtrap, I was happy. But when I saw Munchie step down out of the community and dev team, I was very fucking disappointed. I'm like, well, there goes Springtrap being scrapped or removed. It's just, I don't know why the devs are making Springtrap such a heavy character just to like get news about. We got news about Rosemary off the bat already. We got news about Fogborn. He's in Recode. We got Valum. We got all those other characters, even though they're original characters. We got Valum. He's part of the Man in the Fog horror mod in Minecraft. And again, he's from Minecraft. You guys gotta realize this. He's from a Minecraft horror mod. MX, literally from Razzazzo-Do. Bro, you guys cannot tell me that, it's not fair for, like, Springtrap out of all characters to not get, like, that much fucking attention to where he's literally getting added into, like, newer asymmetric games like Bye Bye Night and, so forth. There should be no excuse for Springtrap and Dead by Daylight. Yeah, and Dead by Daylight to, get put in the game, get skins, get a chapter himself, get recognized by tons of people, get away with shit like that, even though he's already a collab character. But yeah, like games like not coming out by night already because it's not even out yet, even though it should be coming out this month. Gets like that much recognition. Springtrap should be getting more recognition in like asymmetric / fan games because he has the most again he's like the most recognized character in Five Nights at Freddy's in the franchise. If you guys know what I mean. But I'm gonna stop getting sidetracked about like this stuff. My whole purpose of this rant is that I just think Springtrap is safe for Pillar Chase, regardless of what happens. I just think what Blade needs to do is have a common sense of just not to add Springtrap in a Roblox shop with like cosmetic skins and all that stuff. I think what Springtrap should do is just be his normal character without any skins. It just be in like when you earn coins in the game from like doing objectives, earning monster chance and all that stuff. Like I think that's how Springtrap should be in Pillar Chase Recode. Because you really think about it, this whole like thing of like people saying, oh well, he was the overglazed character, he was annoying. Yeah, obviously I agree with that shit. As a gold Springtrap main myself and someone who got introduced to him after MX got released, I back to back I've been grinding that dude for a while, and seeing him go and seeing him not getting any stuff for like almost like a month or two is disappointing to me because I know Blade knows that a lot of people are wanting more Springtrap content and more Pillar Chase stuff for him. But it's to the point where I'm looking at this is that like the devs they know that the community wants more Springtrap and PCX content. It's just that I just have a feeling they're just gatekeeping them just to gatekeep to piss off some people. Now I'm not saying that they're doing it on purpose. Like I understand Blade and the team are more worried about getting Recode out in like 2 months because it is supposed to come out in 2 months. at least. But like, at least, you know, show what the community really wants and not what you want to be done. Like, he's doing more changes for, like, more balance changes. Like, worry about that once the Rico's done, or at least close to be finished. It's just, and I'm not only here defending Springtrap and all that. I could go the same thing for PCX. PCX he just got a teaser a month ago, just saying, oh, letting his fans know, you could say, that he's coming back soon, and Blade did confirm that PCX is coming back after Recode release in the update. So you PCX fans, you guys are eating too. It's just that I think that the lack of Springtrap stuff is really pissing me the fuck off, because why would you, like, it's just like every time someone mentions something about him, it's like they push it away like he's like nothing, like he's just non-existent. But that's the rant about this. I hope y'all understand. If y'all have any stuff to say or add on to me, just let me know in the comment section down below. I really appreciate it. And, if you guys want more rants about this stuff, just let me know. I'll do more. I don't care. But this is probably, in my perspective and my, little, like, concern for a character and all that. And, I just hope you guys, understand that this is not me this is not me hating on Blade. This is not me hating on the devs. It's just me saying that, they need to show a character more, appearance, because that's pretty much what they're not doing right now, and it's pissing me off. But anyway, this is the end of this rant, guys. I hope y'all, like, again, understand, and I hope you guys have a good day, and yeah, I'll see you guys on the flip side.